what is up? Welcome back to the podcast. I am so excited to be here with you guys for another week in the Manifestation and Money Honey podcast. Thank you for your countless DMs and for sharing the episodes and leaving your reviews. I truly appreciate it so much. It helps us get the podcast out to more people so we can keep producing more episodes. So thank you guys so much. All right. I have a little mocktail here with me today. We are spicing up our workday with a cute little mocktail. I've got some blood orange fizz lemonade. We shall see how this tastes. I haven't dove into it yet, but you got to be able to spice things up when you work from home and you're doing a lot of producing inside your business. And so, why not sit down with a little mocktail, record your podcast episode, spend some time with you guys, do the whole thing. So, I have honestly the best story to share today, and it's one that's really going to take your belief in your goals and your manifestations that you're focused on right now to an entirely new level. This stopped me in my tracks last week, completely changed the game for me. So I'm so excited to share it with you guys. But before we get into it, as always, I have a life update for you, and we are going to introduce today's sponsor. So, life update. You guys, I have started really reading a really good book. I saw Manifestation Babe posted the other day, and it couldn't have been timed more perfectly. One of the areas that I've really been working on in my life is my relationship. We have a great relationship by all standards. There's nothing really wrong, but also I want more bliss, more harmony, to take it up a level. And I actually can't even believe I'm bringing this up on the podcast. Maybe I shouldn't have made this a mocktail, perhaps a cocktail. But I am so private when it comes to my relationship because I don't know, it's vulnerable. It's vulnerable to share those things. You never know who's listening. So, cue the vulnerability hangover here. But, anyways, Manifestation Babe has recently been talking about her relationship and how it's been better than ever before. And it's also something I've been working on behind the scenes with my mentor. And, something I have found so hard being a business owner because as women in business, we get shit done all day. We have this imaginary blazer on all day long, if you will, where we're getting things done, we're making decisions, we're running our businesses. And then we have to take that blazer off when we're bouncing back into our relationship for the day, being with our family, the people we love, our partners. And working from home, of course, adds a whole other dynamic to that because you don't really have a official start and end to your day. It kind of just all morphs into one, right? Anyways, it's challenging, I find, to be in your feminine energy and leading from that feminine energy inside your relationship when you're used to taking charge all day long inside your business. I find it really hard to bounce back and forth and lean back in my feminine energy. So, this book. I am only on a couple of chapters in right now. I'm only a few pages in, let's say. I haven't finished the book yet. And it is life changing and it's creating transformations already for me. Those two eyes emojis that are looking at you? It's like, if I could insert that emoji right now, watching life happen right now, I'm like, what the hell is going on here? This is amazing. It's called The Surrendered Wife by Laura Doyle. I grabbed it on Amazon. I got it on my Kindle app. Honestly, if you've got your relationship on your mind and you're feeling the same way I was, go get this book. Things that I have wanted done around the house for months now that I just stopped asking about because they just weren't happening and it was just felt like I was banging my head against the wall. They have all been done in the last 24 hours at a rapid rate. He's been planning dates with me. We've been planning vacations. I honestly, it's a whole new world in the relationship right now, and I haven't even completed the book. I just started doing some of the suggestions she was talking about. I can't even describe it. So, I'm not just about building an amazing business. I want you to have that, and I want you to have an amazing life too. And I have been there, having the wildly successful business and also just so drained from it with nothing left to give in my everyday life. Everything else was falling apart behind the scenes. We don't deserve that. But I had to build things that way to understand that's actually not what I wanted. And I'm just so happy that I've been really changing things inside my business the last couple of years and been able to also put my lifestyle goals at the forefront too. So Think about this when you're setting things up inside your business. Think about the relationship side of things. Go grab this book. I am telling you, it is making a massive difference. So, today's episode is sponsored by my brand new free guide, you guys. I am so excited about this. You are the first to hear about this. I am genuinely so grateful when you guys leave a review on the podcast, when you share your favorite episodes over on Instagram stories, when you tag us in it. And so I decided to sweeten things up for you guys a little bit. And I have created a juicy sales guide for you to juice up your content, to convert more from your posts, how to give yourself a jolt of sales without feeling sleazy about it inside your business. And I am breaking this all down for you inside the guide, what kind of content you want to focus on to actually see more clients and sales happening inside your business. Selling in the like non sleazy way, but also give yourself the jolt you're looking for. Like, I felt like I was putting content out there and putting content out there and putting content out there and not really getting the return from it that I wanted. So, I have broken this down for you guys inside the guide. It's so easy to follow and implement into your own business. And like I said, it's the non sleazy way. So, here's how this works. Leave me a review on the podcast and screenshot it to me and send it to me over in Instagram DMs, and I will send you the guide. Or share the podcast in your Instagram stories and tag me, and I will send you over the guide. Easy peasy. You are going to want this. I am so excited about this. This guide is going to be so helpful if you're looking to grow sales in your business right now, if you just want to get more bang for your buck with your content without feeling like you need to be that girl. Like, no one wants to be that girl. So, this guide is going to be amazing. So, don't forget, leave a review on the podcast, screenshot it, and send it to me over in DMs, or share the podcast in your Instagram stories and tag me, and I will send over the guide. All right, you guys, let's get into today's episode. I saw this happen on Instagram this past week, and I wanted to share it with you guys because I know what it's like working on yourself, working on your belief, trying so hard to trust that it's all coming together. But naturally, as humans, like we want to know the how, Like, how is this going to come together? How am I going to hit that money? How am I going to create this dream house? How am I going to get the vacation? How am I going to get those things for my kids? Whatever it is, right? And the problem with wanting to know the how is a lot of the times we will just count ourselves out of the game completely because it seems impossible. Like, how would that even come together? I can't even see how that will come together. We do this in life, we do this in business. It seems too big or unrealistic, or it's getting too close to the cutoff time or end of the month or whatever it is. It just feels so far away and it feels impossible. When you become a match for what you want for your manifestations, the universe will literally create miracles to make it happen. Wild things will happen that you could have never predicted to bring the goal to you. Very rarely does it add up exactly the way you thought it would on paper. I know this is crazy, right? So badly, we want to see how it's going to come together so that we can just relax and know and trust a little bit more and know that we're going to be okay. Like, it's human nature. Like, I want this too when I'm looking at my manifestations, when I'm looking at my goals. Like, I am not immune to this. Okay. And the hard part about leaning into your manifestations is that it requires a blind leap of faith. You cannot know how it's going to all come together. And so I find what we're going to talk about today super helpful in just seeing evidence of where this has come together in wild ways before from other people. But also, if you can look for evidence in your past where your manifestations have come to fruition, it's extremely helpful. Our brains love evidence. And so I do this work a lot with my clients where we will look for evidence in the manifestation work and in the mindset work, because this is literally how your brain works. Your brain is analytical. So, yes, we talk about all these beautiful things about manifesting and trust and belief and faith and all important things. And your brain needs evidence of these things in order to really latch on to an idea. And so that's what I really want to talk about today is just a banging example of belief and just trusting that the universe has your back and it's going to work out the details for you. And you don't need to know the how. And so I see this happen in business a lot. Like, when we want to know the how, we want to know like the next 30 steps in front of us. We want to know what we need to post on social media and how this client will come in and how many clients will do this and like how many sales we're going to get. Like, we just want reassurance, right? And oftentimes that will hold us back from actually playing the game and actually putting ourselves out there. And so this is such a good example of just all of this coming together and just like concrete evidence of like, you can't know the how, but you got to trust it because if you don't play the game, it'll never happen for you. Like your manifestations and your goals and your visions were given to you for a reason, but we never lean into them and we never create them because we don't believe they're going to happen. So let me tell you what happened last week. Okay. I have two Instagram accounts, as some of you may know. I've got my business Instagram account, which you guys know and love. It's at Brittany CEO. And then I have a more like personal Instagram account, if you will, called Heart of CEO. And so I post like lifestyle stuff over there, but I'm like not really contributing over there. Like it's hard to run one Instagram account, let alone two. Okay. So I'm hanging out over on Heart of CEO as I do at night, just like scrolling around, looking at things I love. And I come across this girl who's posted in her stories and she's just like, "What are you working on manifesting this week?" Like a question box sticker. And people were like writing in and she was cheering them on. She's like, "Oh my God, that would be amazing if you hit a 20K month. Oh my God, that'd be amazing if you had 100 people come in. Oh my God." Like just like helping people celebrate before they've even happened, which is such a brilliant idea. But this one girl wrote in and she was just like, "I'm manifesting that my entire baby registry gets bought for us before our baby comes." And do you know what this girl did in her stories? She shared that and she said, "Oh my God, send me the link. I want to buy something off the registry." So this girl shared about her manifestation. The universe starts delivering it. But what happens next is absolutely wild and where this whole story comes together and just really shows you how to have faith and trust in the universe. And you just can't know how things are going to work out. So with that, the like mentor like buys something off her registry. She's like, "Oh, this was so fun." And then people start commenting back to this mentor and they're like, "I'd like to buy something off her registry." And the mentor is like, "Oh my God, that's amazing. I'll DM you her link to her registry." And then more people are writing in and they're like, "I'd like to buy something off her registry for her. How fun." I was one of those people too. I was like, "Wait a second, this is such a beautiful lesson in abundance. I would love to look at her registry and send her something too." So I did. I bought one of the books that she wanted on her list. And it felt so abundant to be a part of this whole story and like seeing this come together for her in ways that this girl could have never imagined. She didn't wake up that day being like, "You know what? I'm going to watch for someone's question sticker box on Instagram so I can pop my baby registry in there so that the internet can buy it for me." I can guarantee that is not what was going through her mind. She was probably thinking like, "Hopefully some friends and family like asked us for this. And then I don't know, like we really want this, but like hopefully it all comes together." Like she wouldn't have had a plan. She had to have blind faith in it. What happened next was wild. The mentor decides that she's going to post the baby registry in her stories. And literally the community buys out this girl's baby registry in like 24 hours. Could you imagine? You're like, "It'd be so cool if we manifested our baby registry getting bought." And like, I gotta tell you, this girl didn't hold back on her registry. And I thought this was really interesting too, because we can like half play with our manifestations and think like we aren't worthy of big things or like who would buy us those things or who am I to think I get a $600 stroller? Like put yourself in this place. Like she had very expensive items on her registry and smaller items and things in the middle, but she wasn't holding back. Like her registry was full of all the things that they wanted, regardless of price. And we will barter with the universe all the time. Like that was just such another micro lesson inside of all of this is like, she wasn't bartering. She wasn't holding back. She knew what she wanted. She put it on there, had blind faith, and the universe just like, in my opinion, over delivered for her. Like, how special. Strangers on the internet sent her everything off her registry. It was so much fun. It was so enriching for me to be on the other end. And it really got me thinking, like, my God, if she had never posted in that question sticker box that day, her registry wouldn't have been filled. This could have never happened. But this is the thing. And there's just so many lessons inside of this. Number one, we will only go after what we believe is possible for us. And you guys have heard me say this so many times on the podcast here. We shy away from setting goals in areas of our lives because we just don't believe it's possible or that it could come together. Or we do it halfway, but not the full way, not actually what we want. We think we're being like too greedy or too unrealistic, or we just don't even bother doing it because it just seems so far fetched. Imagine if this lady decided it was impossible for her to get her baby registry and get everything that she wanted. Like, she probably, one, wouldn't have even made the registry. It was like a cute little Amazon list. It was so cute. Or she wouldn't have put everything on it that she actually wanted. Or she wouldn't have even said it out loud on Instagram. Or she would have like brushed it off when the mentor wanted to buy something from her. Like, how many times do we apologize for receiving, for getting compliments, for people wanting to help us? Like, we try to make things harder on ourselves. Like, she could have easily been like, "Oh, no, you don't have to do that." And the whole thing would have fell apart. But instead, she was like, "Oh my God, that's amazing. Thank you." I can't even imagine what she was feeling on the other side as she saw everybody buying everything off the registry. Like, it's kind of unbelievable for me. But imagine she had never put it in the question sticker box, never asked for it, never declared to the universe that she wanted it, like, never even decided that having her baby registry filled, like, was possible, you know? She would have completely missed it. And we do this all the time inside our lives, inside our business. I can think of countless areas of my life where I just kind of brush off my manifestations, or I don't even really set a vision, or I do, but I don't really believe it. I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool if it happens. But do you have like blind faith in it? Part of walking with your manifestations, it does require a blind leap of faith. You can't know how it's going to all come together, but that's kind of the magic in it. Like, instead of tying the universe's hands behind its back and forcing how your manifestations are going to come in, what if you just trusted that the universe had your back? You wouldn't have these ideas if they weren't meant for you. No one else on the podcast right now listening thought to post their baby registry or to think like, wow, I'd love to have my baby registry filled. That was specifically for her. But you have lots of ideas that come to mind that you kind of like brush off and you're like, I don't really know. I don't really know, right? We have to be able to show up for it, but the problem is most of the time, we just don't believe it's possible, and we're looking for evidence, and we're trying to see how it's gonna happen, and so we just don't even take the action at all. We don't even set the intentions at all. We don't even start manifesting the things we want at all or identify it because it just seems too far-fetched, but use this as an example. Like, I want you to start looking at, like, where are you holding back in your life right now from setting a vision, from creating a goal for yourself because you don't believe that it could come together. Think about this in all areas of your life. Like, if I were you, I'd really go on a rampage this week and I'd write out all of my areas of my life. And I'm going to do this for myself and write down, like, what do I truly want here? Like, if I could have the baby registry scenario where it just like magically appears and I like get to do my part and believe, like, what would I actually ask for here? And start working with this and have fun. Like, let this be a game, you know? I don't think she was there on the other side of the phone, stressed out that she might not have her baby registry filled. It was fun for her. It was like, this would be amazing if we could fill this. Like, I'm kind of manifesting that. Like, that would be fun. Like, she wasn't on the other end, like, this needs to happen right now, or we're going to fall apart, you know? How can we be a little bit more lighthearted with it and let the manifestations come to you in a different way and create room for the universe to just deliver miracles to you? Like, I bet you she was hoping to have it filled by the time they had their baby, but the universe delivered it in 24 hours for her when she let go, did her inspired action, entered it in the question sticker box, received it as it was coming in, not thinking like, oh my God, only one person bought after the mentor did it. Like, she probably had no idea that strangers on the internet were going to start asking for her link. But it was such a beautiful experience to be a part of. And as I was experiencing all of it, I was like, oh my God, I need to write this down for the podcast. This has got to be next week's podcast because this is just such a beautiful example of just trusting and believing and just actually asking for exactly what you want. So I want you to play with that this week. I want you to ask yourself, where are you holding back in your life right now from setting a vision and a goal for yourself because you don't believe that it could come together? And where could you have fun with this and start to play with your manifestations with the universe and just like be a little bit more lighthearted about it? Thank you guys so much for being here in today's podcast episode, spending another week with us on the Underestimate Me podcast. Do not forget about my new free guide. We are going to help you juice your sales up online, focus on the content that you need to be focusing on to create more sales without the sleazy sales tactics, topics, you know, the whole thing, right? Don't forget to leave us a review on the podcast and screenshot it and send us a picture of that in our DMs so that we can send you the guide. or share the podcast in your stories and tag me, and I will send over the guide for you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you over in the next episode. Bye.